Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ladies and gentlemen, let me first thank and appreciate Ramon Magsaysay Foundation for bestowing this coveted and unique award. I am highly honored and humbled to receive this honor, which I truly believe belongs to the great people of Pakistan. Today, for this lecture, the topic that I have been assigned is Faith-Inspired Giving, Akhuwat's Journey in Changing Lives. Before talking about Akhuwat and giving its detail, let me narrate you a story. It is a story of a woman who met me in 2001. I was sitting in my office. Suddenly there is a knock at the door. The door opens and enters a lady with tears in her eyes. She was in a distressful condition, but she managed to sit on a chair in front of me. I asked her, "What can I do for you?" She said that she had lost her husband few days ago. "I have 4 children," she said, "and now I am worried about their future. We have nothing to feed them at the night." Despite this, she said that I am not a beggar. I don't believe in charity. I am here to seek your help, but I won't take any money free. Would you give me a loan? A loan of 10,000 rupees, which was at that point of time around $100. I will buy 2 sewing machines with this loan, work hard, and then out of the income of these machines, I will be able to sustain my family. I am poor, but I have self-respect. This was very unique for me, that somebody in such a difficult condition still believes not in taking charity or doles, but in her hard work. We managed to gather $100, presented to her. She went away with a promise that she will return this money after 6 months. Though she promised, but I didn't believe her. So soon, I forgot this story. But that great lady didn't forget it. Exactly after 6 months, she was again back. Knocking at the door, opening the door, enters again, but this time there were no tears in her eyes. She was brimming with hope and confidence. She was smiling. She sat on the same chair in front of me and said that you might be thinking that I won't come back, but I'm here. I'm a trustworthy woman. I believe in hard work. Then she told me that out of the $100 which I gave to her, she purchased, as per her promise, 2 sewing machines, worked so hard that she was able to earn a lot of money and sustain her family. And she was able to send her 2 kids to school as well. She was also able to marry one of her daughters out of the income from those sewing machines. This story was so inspiring. She put her wallet on my table, opened it, and then took out $100 out of it, returned it to me. While returning, she gave me a message, a very humbling and a unique message. She said that this $100 is a blessed money. It has changed my life. Don't put this money back into your pocket. Give it to somebody else. I'm sure whomsoever you will give this money will undergo the same spiritual experience. He will be out of poverty, and he will one day return this money back to you. So this was a unique message, a unique moment. I was bewildered. And then I thought that if we have many such $100, we can support many such families who are poor but are trustworthy, who are poor but have self-respect, who are poor but who believe in hard work and moving ahead in life. This was the story which inspired us to adopt the path of Akhuwat. This is the beginning. The story inspired us to design a program of interest-free lending. We studied the current models in vogue and found many of issues and challenges. If you allow me to narrate, first of all, high cost. The conventional microfinance, no doubt, provides loans to the poor people to start their businesses, but it has service charges which range from 20%, 30%, 40%, or even 60 to 70% in some cases. The next issue was religious reasons. Majority of the people in Pakistan are Muslims, and they don't prefer to indulge in riba or interest. So as this money is riba or interest, so this was contrary to their faith and they wanted to avoid it. The third challenge which came to our knowledge was the exclusive focus on women and group lending. There is no harm. Women should be preferred, but why not the men should be deprived of this opportunity? And why only group lending is needed? Why can't we give these loans on an individual basis? The fourth challenge was this whole paradigm of microfinance was initiated by non-government organizations, but gradually this was termed as an industry, as a business, and was taken over by the banks. So the compassionate dimension was eliminated and a business-like approach emerged. No doubt people continue to get small loans to come out of poverty and start their businesses, but with heavy charges and with heavy markup. So this was another thing that the whole concept which was designed on helping people gradually turned over into business. So the next thing we noticed that once a borrower remained always a borrower. We wanted that a borrower must come out of poverty and must be able to help somebody else. So this is the whole philosophy which I will slightly explain, that this Akhuwat means brotherhood, and a brotherhood which establishes a bond of relationship between haves and have-nots. The haves provide loans to the have-nots. Have-nots use those loans and give back. And in this journey or giving back this amount, they also donate something more than that, something over and above the loan. So we wanted people to become donors once they are coming out of poverty. And the next issue for us was that poverty is not only economic. Poverty is a multi-dimensional concept. It is social, it is political, it is educational. Anybody who doesn't have self-respect, anybody who doesn't enjoy equal political rights, anybody who doesn't have a roof on his or her head. So we wanted to design a program which not only gives loans but also addresses other dimensions of poverty. So these were different issues and challenges which helped us to design a different program. Hence, an institution is born which is named as Akhuwat, with a vision of a poverty-free society built on the principles of compassion and equity. Our mission is to alleviate poverty by empowering socially and economically marginalized segments of society through interest-free microfinance and education. What are our distinguishing features? How are we different from conventional microfinance? And how does faith plays its role in poverty alleviation? Number one, Qarz Hasan or benevolent loan. The interest-free loan which we give to the poor, in our language we called it Qarz Hasan, and in English if it is translated, it is a benevolent loan, a loan which is given free of any markup or any interest. The next feature is intermediation through religious places, using religious spaces such as mosques, churches and temples for the disbursement of loan and providing social guidance to the poor people. Why religious places? Because as a student of international development, I believe that we can't achieve the objectives of development unless we utilize indigenous places. So the religious places offer transparency, participation, accountability. Hence we utilize these places where people come together, sit together, talk together, and there was a efficiency in the program, there was less cost, and there was more sacredness. The third principle which we adopted, we name it spirit of volunteerism. In fact, through this program, not only providing financial access, we wanted to develop a culture of volunteerism so that we can minimize our operational cost. Currently, we have more than 3,500 employees, but there are equally good number of volunteers who don't charge anything, who work with us, who train our employees, who train our borrowers, who work for the promotion of this concept. So this is a blend of necessary compensation and volunteerism. The fourth distinguishing feature is converting our borrowers into donors. When we give a loan to somebody, we tell him that, look, today you are taking a loan. But in you, we see somebody who is giving loans to others one day. So this is how we help him to restore his dignity and promote reciprocity. So 60% of our borrowers which take loan from us, they are now donors as well. So in this way, this has not been confined only to a microfinance program, but it is an effort to build the society through mutual support and reciprocity. Fifth principle is non-discrimination. We derive inspiration from the Islamic spirit of solidarity or mawakhat, but we work for the whole mankind. There is absolute no discrimination on the basis of caste, color, creed, or faith. We work in mosques, we work in churches, we work in temples. So we are absolutely not bothered that which faith or which political affiliation or which creed one belongs to, as long as he is willing to come out of poverty, as long as he is not compromising his self-respect, and as long as he is committing to return the money back so that it could be revolved, we will serve him. Next feature is the inclusive approach. Inclusive in the sense that the most marginalized are usually ignored. The people living in periphery, they are usually ignored. The transgenders, the scheduled castes, the people living in far-flung rural areas. So we try to begin social inclusion, political inclusion, and financial inclusion. And the last point is creation of a virtuous cycle, reciprocity. You know, there exists a vicious cycle, but we would like to create parallel a virtuous cycle so that if somebody does good with me, I should do something good with somebody else, and he would do something good with somebody else. So hence this will be a cycle of virtue. So if there is a vicious cycle, we cannot change the society, we cannot eliminate poverty, we cannot eliminate exploitation until and unless we are able to create simultaneous virtuous cycle. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the 4 fundamental distinguishing features which helped us to create this program, and all these features we built by learning the issues and the challenges which I have mentioned earlier. So let me slightly explain how does this whole model works. We have created a pool of money through donations. Every civil society organization or individual donor or public sector or private sector or corporate sector who believes in sharing their resources, they give us donations. 10% of these donations are shifted to the operational pool, and 90% is utilized for putting it into revolving fund, which is used to give loans to the poor people. So the basic thing is this assumption that there is large number of people who are willing to give and donate, and that money, partial of that amount, which is 10%, is utilized to meet the operational expenses, and 90% it becomes the part of revolving fund, which is used to give loans to the poor people. So they return back this amount, because since last 21 years our recovery percentage is 99.9%. So this is again a virtuous cycle which I have been mentioned. They give it back and we find new borrowers. What have been we able to do so far? 4.9 million loans, approximately 4 million families, which means more than 20 million people. The amount which we have disbursed is more than 150 billion Pakistani rupees. The recovery percentage is 99.9. We work through 827 branches throughout Pakistan. 58% of our borrowers are male and 42% of our borrowers are female. In fact, we give loan to a family and then allow the family that whosoever has the expertise may start a business. And 42% female have started businesses with that money. Currently, we have 800,000 plus active loans and 21 billion rupees is outstanding. And as I mentioned earlier, 3,500 most committed staff who believe in the spirit of giving, who believe in the spirit of sharing, and who believe in the spirit of establishing a bond of solidarity with the have-nots. They don't go and they don't tell people that we are here to give you loans. They tell people that we are here to establish a bond of brotherhood or sisterhood with you. You are now part of Akhuwat family, and we will give you loan, you will do business, and so you will be able to share your resources with others as well. Besides microfinance, we have also adopted microfinance plus approach. We have educational services. We have established the biggest clothes bank of the country. We have health services. We have a program for the rehabilitation of most marginalized transgenders, and we have also a food bank through which we serve the extreme poor with good quality food. But most important of these is Akhuwat Educational Services, where we have establishing a university which will not charge any fee. This will be a long-term benevolent loan. The students will take their education today. They will not pay anything, but they will pay their fee after 10 years or 20 years so that somebody else could benefit and study. So this is a long-term Qarz-e-Hasan. Our previous program was a short-term Qarz-e-Hasan, a short-term benevolent loan to start an enterprise or a business. But this is to get higher education, get education today and pay tomorrow. This is our slogan. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being so attentive. Let me conclude by saying that we follow the philosophy of brotherhood as taught by our holy prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and all other religions and all other ethical and moral philosophies. We serve by using interest-free or benevolent loan as a tool. We are creating, in fact, a bond of solidarity between the haves and have-nots, assuring the poor that they are not alone in their struggle to come out of poverty. Let me reiterate that we, along with many other people, have a different dream. We are endeavoring to create a new world, a world where we share our resources, a world where we care for the less advantaged. And in this way, we are creating and nurturing a better world based on mutual support system, a world which provides opportunity and happiness to everyone irrespective of caste, color or creed. Thank you very much.